Yo, what's up, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. Man, really excited to get into this one. This is Contra, the rare freestyle. That's actually the name of the freestyle. And it's funny because I had this pulled up as we did a couple of their other ones, and I could have swore we reacted to this yet, but someone in the comment section was like, "Yo, you missed the rare freestyle." So I got it pulled up here. This is from their actual channel, so I think it's an official video. Hopefully, there's no copyright bans or so. Ooh, look, there's a Dead Homies freestyle too. I don't think I got to that one. So, really excited. We're gonna get into this. This is Coast Contra, their rare freestyle. Let me get my ugly mug out of the way, where we're gonna dive right in. This is an intellectual breakdown as well, or what we consider intellectual. Again, it's just my variation, my interpretation from my first time hearing the cut. I'm always up for comments if you guys feel like something might mean something else. Help with the breakdown, man. And why are there only three cats here, not four? And that's what we missing. Missing that cat Rio, right? Rios. Let's let it ride and get right into it here. If you guys show some love, like the video if you like our breakdown, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel. We do intense lyrical breakdowns of the more lyrically dense artists, like Coast Contra, like A$AP Rock, J. Cole, Chance the Rapper, Toby Wigway, Nas, Jay-Z, Big L, Big Pun. Come on now, let's go.
Check. I'm in red form. In a red state, such a red case.
Ooh, got the lyrics. All right.
Share space with my shareholders because we share a bond. Spiritual health care, that's real self-care. You won't care for them. Then live in the faith and walk in your grace and give it back. You know,
saying spiritual health care, right? That's the way. That's real self-care, mind, body, and soul, right?
Care, that's real self-care. You won't care for them. Then live in the faith and walk in your grace and give it back. You know the story, the glory is God's, and that's why I never do get attached. Because Eagles be forming and keeping it dormant, not good enough, gotta get rid.
Ooh, I know I don't want to be preaching here, but it's important what he said. He said, your ego forms, and that's what keeps you dormant, right? I don't know who he's speaking to today, but that message is for someone. Come on now.
Story, the glory is God's, and that's why I never do get attached. Because Eagles be forming and keeping it dormant, not good enough, gotta get rid of that. Resentment was forming forgiveness, I wanted to give it. In fact, if I didn't, it killed me. That's word to my pop, man. I love you, we came a long way, and I'm finally admitting that. Son of a woman who brought me to God.
Son of a son. Okay, so he's talking about his grandma. Son of a woman who brought me to God.
A woman that loved me so much that for me she'd be ready to die. Married a woman that loved me enough to be patient when I did not know how to trust. I was vacant, I barely could open it up and said, fuck it, I'm ready to try. Yeah, I did that. Name on the lease, so fuck it, I'm doing the most for sure.
Doing big man, big stuff.
I know in the plot of they souls and boast and did that. You know the coast is Contra, prayer and prosper, nigga, we did that. Levels to this shit, man. Ain't gotta get to the highest of levels, there's devils in this shit, man. Hearts like kettle in this shit.
See, he's spitting a lot of truth now.
Them your real boys, who knows? You might be Geppetto in this bitch, man.
Ooh, yo, he just switched there. He was going with the rhyme, but he's dropping knowledge. And see, that's the important thing. If you don't understand the context, we won't understand the knowledge that he is possibly trying to drop here. Right, because what did he say? He said something about the nose.
Some of them might gotta get to the highest of levels.
Talking about being in the levels to the game.
Some of them might be gang, cause them your real boys.
Those your real boys who knows. And he came with
you might be Geppetto.
You might be Geppetto in this bitch, man. Right? Geppetto. And that's a Pinocchio reference, right? But it seems to be a little bit deeper than that, because if you look at the sentences before that, right, what is he talking about? He says, he was fucking these hoes, right? Fucking these hoes, not knowing the plight of their souls, right? What did he say? He said their heart was vacant. There's levels to this shit, right? The vacant heart, talking about Pinocchio not being a real boy, right? Talking about the plight of their souls. Comparing that with not being a real person. And then he said there's devils in this shit, right? I don't know if you guys understand the story behind the Pinocchio, but there's also a conspiracy theory, and there's a lot of truth that comes with that. And you think about some of your early writings, right? Children's books, and you can decide if it's conspiracy theory or truth. But the breakdown of Pinocchio is Pinocchio is actually, he's talking about your pineal gland, right? Or your third eye is what a lot of people we'll call it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this breakdown, but Pinocchio is technically two words, right? You have pine, or from the pineal gland, and then you have occhio, right? Occhio is something, means like ocular, right? Occhio in Italian, eyes. That's why your Oculus is an eye specialist. If you play the Oculus VR, that's the something that's going over your eyes, right? So Pinocchio together, it means your pineal gland, right? And think about that, right? He's a puppet, okay? At least in the beginning of the story. But in order to become a real person, a real human, you have to ascend, or you have to be enlightened, right? You have to activate your pineal gland. So think about that. If you think about the original Pinocchio, back when, I'm talking about the all dogs go to heaven times, the old school Pinocchio, where people are drinking, Pinocchio smoking a cigar, right? They're gambling. There's the whole circus deal that's going on. There's messages in that, right? So to activate your pineal gland or become enlightened, you have to, number one, stop telling lies. Think about that. His nose grows as a deterrent every time he tells a lie, right? You have to stop being deceived by your so-called friends or people that are in your circle. And you hear a lot, it's Contra is referencing some of this, and they've referenced this in their other freestyles as well. But he's talking about he didn't know how to love, right? You see Pinocchio in the earlier days, he keeps getting deceived because he's simple, right? He's getting deceived in card games by people in the circus. You got to stop going to the circus. You got to stop going to clubs and shows. You have to stop getting drunk or intoxicated. They show Pinocchio smoking cigars and his face turns all green, right? He's doing bad things that aren't going to enlighten him. So they're really laying out a path for activating your pineal gland or becoming a new version of you if you listen to the story of Pinocchio, right? So again, it's pineal gland is the third eye. It's supposedly our highest consciousness, right? So you think about that, and it's like the best version of you. Pinocchio's best version of himself was a real boy. So the message is like, what will you become? If you stopped going out and drinking, you stop telling lies, and you try to become a better person, you're putting the best version of you out into the world. And this isn't some new TikTok conspiracy theory or anything like that, but in ancient Egypt, the pineal gland was known as the seat of the spirit or the soul. They used the third eye to talk about higher awareness and consciousness, right? Think about that. The Buddhists, they relate it to what they call spiritual awakening. The Hindus, right? They connect the third eye represents intuition and being clairvoyant. Even Jesus said that, right? Jesus said the eye is the lamp of the body. And if the eye is clear, your body will be filled with light. This relates to the eye of intuition. Again, your pineal gland and seeing things clearly and in truth. Again, referencing Pinocchio not telling lies. I could put together a separate video on that if you guys want more of an in-depth breakdown. But there's a lot of knowledge that they're spitting here when they're just talking about a simple line about Geppetto in this bitch. And if you don't understand who Geppetto is, you might not know who Pinocchio is, and you might not understand the reference from the earliest of cartoons. Let's run it back a little bit so you can catch it.
Name on the lease, so fuck it, I'm doing the most for show. I did that. Fucking these hoes, I know in the plot of their souls, them both.
Plot of their souls.
You know the coast is Contra, prayer and prosper, nigga, we did that. Levels to this shit, man. Ain't gotta get to the highest of levels, there's devils in this shit, man. Hearts like Kettle in this shit, man. Several, some of them might be gang, cause them your real boys, who knows? You might be Geppetto in this bitch, man. Get your money, then get out the game, don't settle in this bitch, man. I'm in red form. Niggas that know me as best is saying it's red form. Breaking new ground, I'm terraforming. Sharing my essence and my precious to future.
Breaking new ground, he's terraforming. Just excellent writing.
It's saying it's red form. Breaking new ground, I'm terraforming. Sharing my essence and using my precious. The future is now, I'm clairvoyant.
Ooh, so you just said it right there, right? I'm clairvoyant. That's another reference about becoming enlightened, right? It's a person who claims to have some supernatural ability, if you would, right? They're able to perceive the future events or normally can experience some sense outside of your normal sensory contact, right?
Sharing my essence and using my precious, the future is now.
His essence, he's sharing his essence.
I feel like the sound too flamboyant. I'm in rare form, in a rare state, such a rare case on a rare song. In a shared space with my shareholders, cause we share bond. The love is like that. One, I left my shadow in the dark. My future too bright to block. A nigga like shit shady enough. Moving according to God's plan. I had my plan, but nah, wisdom. I look for that sound.
Your plan ain't nothing compared to God's plan, right? And I'm relatively agnostic, but I think we all know at a certain age that you might think you know what you're gonna do, but you don't know what you're gonna do.
Now, freedom singing in the background, doing backgrounds. Yes, we living in harmony. Bless the mic now. I start with this shit that I write now. We speaking this shit into life now. Speaking life now.
Ooh, speaking this shit into life now. That sounds like a Pinocchio reference in itself. I'm gonna stop talking about Pinocchio now that I'm on a roll.
Many bless the mic now. I start with this shit that I write now. We speaking this shit into life now. Speaking life now. Deaf men hit the rhymes. We lay in the booth. Shit speak volumes even on mute. Sitting in silence. Not in their head proof. Y'all pipe down. Talking a whole lot of nothing. But don't you know nothing? These people is tired of that. That shit that like that substance. That's why we buzzing. We really
people are tired of that, right? People are tired of not just mainstream rap, but the mumble rap, right? And you could definitely see it. Everything comes in cycles, and you could see that real hip hop is it's almost a tipping point, right? Shout out Malcolm Gladwell, but he's on the tipping point where things are about to really explode for hip hop, and I think it's going to bring back more of the J. Cole, Nas, Toby Wigway, some of these more in-depth rappers that can hold and keep a common point instead of just raindrops, bubble gop, fucking these hoes, wop, 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 and everybody's like, he killed that. I am not a rapper, right? Come on now.
But don't you know nothing? These people is tired of that shit that like that substance. That's why we buzzing. We really inspiring cats, and we get it back. They show us love, we give it back. I recommend that you get a bag. Not all of us rich, but who said you niggas was broke?
Oh, there's a lot of knowledge he's talking about there. And that shout out to their own track off that Apartment 505. It was called Pimpin' Benjamins or Pimpin' the Government. Check out that video. We did a breakdown. Their music was like a course on financial literacy. And shout out to a lot of people that gave us some love on that video, but they drop a lot of knowledge there. But he talks about being rich versus being broke, right? He says it right here.
I recommend that you get a bag. Not all of us rich, but who said you niggas was broke?
Broke is temporary, right? Poor is a state of mind. And they referenced this before with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it's really important to think about that, right? Broke is a temporary period in life where you don't have money, but poor is a mindset that will keep you without money, right? You might have been broke. We've all been broke, but I've never been poor, and I never will be, right? Come on now.
Love, we give it back. I recommend that you get a bag. Not all of us rich, but who said you niggas was broke? Black is an African resource. I think this shit is a joke. The chains and diamonds, nigga, we used to it. The minerals ain't nothing new to us. Don't you know trees recoup for us? To breathe, our family trees, they literally root for us. The leaves that turn for us. The fruits of the labor produce.
Check out the great wordplay on trees, right? He's talking about they root for us. They turn over new leaves for us, right? He was just talking about minerals. But he's talking about recouping trees, right?
Our family trees, they literally root for us. The leaves that turn to new for us. The fruits of the labor produce for us, that produce for us. I produce for us, and I rap for us, and I write for us. Judge trying to ghost write for us, giving niggas bars.
Right for us could almost be, is that wordplay on forest, right? Because he's talking about trees. Root for us, right? They turn a new leaf for us. And then what the fruits of the labor produce for us. That's produce for us. Forest, right? Forest.
Nigga, we used to it. The minerals ain't nothing new to us. Don't you know trees recoup for us? To breathe, our family trees, they literally root for us. The leaves that turn to new for us. The fruits of the labor produce for us, that produce for us.
Ooh, who's catching that? Who's catching those bars?
Giving niggas bars just to call it a rap. Good night for us, so I fight for it.
Oh, there was some wordplay there, right? And then
Turn the new force, the fruits of the labor produce for us, that produce for us, I produce for us, and I rap for us, and I write for us. Judge trying to ghost write for us, giving niggas bars just to call it a rap. Good night.
Yeah, the judge, right? What did he say? A judge trying to ghost write for us and give them bars, right? Like a ghostwriter would do, but give them bars like get them locked up. And he said they call it rap. Rap as is what he's ghostwriting, but rap like it's a rap. You're in the slammer. Got him. Arr. Why did he turn into a pirate? I don't know, but.
And I rap for us, and I write for us. Judge trying to ghost write for us, giving niggas bars just to call it a rap. Good night for us, so I fight for us. You got the strength to fight yours. Promise the power within you is rare.
Oh, the power within you is rare. Again, the pineal gland that you can activate for your own power. I'm going to stop bringing it back to Pinocchio, but they're dropping knowledge here.
Force, you got the strength to fight yours. Promise the power within you is rare. Picture me living picture perfect. A young Picasso, this frame of mind for higher earning. No 9 to 5, I just decided I'm not for purchase.
Yeah, a lot of people think that's, always they're talking about slavery when somebody talks about I'm not for purchase, but it's really not. You're talking about it's time you work in the government or in the, you work for a corporation, right? You're bidding your body to the highest bidder when you work, right? Like, who's going to pay me the most for my services? You're whoring yourself out, right? And it's nothing wrong. That's just the way of the world as we know it. I don't think it was meant to be this way, but that's what we know.
A higher earning, no 9 to 5. I just decided I'm not for purchase. I got the job to work for God. He higher purpose.
Oh, got the job to work for God, right? The wordplay on job. And getting hired by higher purpose. Say.
I'm not for purchase. I got the job to work for God. He higher purpose.
But he hires.
It's a plug when you know the circuit. And
Woo!
practice worship for higher learning and catch discernment. Where blue faces bring greener grass, but it come with serpents.
Ooh. More money, more problems.
When you know the circuit. And practice worship for higher learning and catch discernment.
Discernment can also play off judge, which he was talking about the judge ghostwriting, wrapping him up, telling him it's a rap, right?
It's a plug when you know the circuit and practice worship for higher learning and catch.
Also, when you know the circuit, like a circuit court judge, you got the circuit court, the appellate court, right? The Supreme Court. There's levels to this, and they're also talking about the levels within the court system.
I'm not for purchase. I got the job to work for God. He higher purpose. So what's a plug when you know the circuit and practice worship for higher learning and catch discernment? Where blue faces bring greener grass, but it come with serpents.
Blue faces talking about money, right? More money brings greener grass, but it comes with serpents. Serpents are the snakes that come when you're doing well because they want to be part of what you're doing, right? But also blue faces, you could equate the blue as in blue, the cops or the police of the world. He's talking about judge, circuit court, bars, right? Tying it all in.
A higher learning and catch discernment. Where blue faces bring greener grass, but it come with serpents. When niggas really try angles just to get in your circle.
Ooh, those geometric wordplay, right? He's talking about people are trying different angles to get into your crew, trying to do different things, but the angles, like a right angle, a 90-degree angle, but also like a circle, right? These are just, they're shapes, so the wordplay on the shapes, sick.
Grass, but it come with serpents. When niggas really try angles just to get in your circle. Shit. Use a smile as a curtain. I got
hiding himself.
Lying niggas that's in this circus.
Is he bringing it back to Pinocchio? Is he bringing it back to Pinocchio? Yo, am I reaching? Oh, reaching for the stars face, right? I don't know if I'm reaching, but he's talking about Pinocchio, the pineal gland, enlightenment, right? In the circus, making better choices, not going to clubs and circuses, opening yourself up, not having any heart, right? And they're talking about all this wordplay, but now he's bringing it back to the circus, which is where a lot of Pinocchio takes place, right?
Use a smile as a curtain.
Oh, but also the curtain of the circus, right? Come on now.
Got to bear with these lying niggas that's in this circus.
Gotta bear with them, right? You have to deal with them. But lying, also like you're lying, but of a lion, right?
Smile as a curtain. I got to bear with these lying niggas that's in this circus. A bunch of clowns that claim the crown but don't deserve it. They fail to realize the best king is a better servant.
Woo!
Said, Eric, your verses like a sermon. When I preach, they
Shout out Eric Sermon.
That preach, it's all in how you word it. I give bars to my people, cause they in need of service. So call this what you want. I call this here my purpose. I want you rappers to wrap this around your head like turbans. Your words can be reimbursed.
Rap, right? Homophone.
My purpose. I want you rappers to wrap this around your head like turbans. Your words can be reimbursement. Give back, change a person. Y'all took a slice of the devil's pie, but I deserved it. I won't detach from doing what's right. I'm good at cursive. I leave my print as I deserved it. I won't detach, change a person. Y'all took a slice of the devil.
Okay, there's wordplay. I knew I missed something there. He said, y'all took a slice of the devil's pie. But then he said,
pie, but I deserved it.
I deserted. Like, I'd leave it alone. I'd dip, right? But dessert.
I won't detach from doing what's right. I'm good at cursive.
The right, doing what's right, like right versus wrong, but also writing like cursive.
Pie, but I deserted. I won't detach from doing what's right. I'm good at cursive. I leave my print as evidence on every verses. Any artist that's talking garbage and try to curse us. Y'all follow
curses and cursive.
a wave and do whatever's current.
Ooh, that water wordplay, right? The wave versus the current.
Ways. I know my turn is coming.
I follow his ways like the way of God, but the ways, the GPS system. Woo! These cats are next level with that wordplay, man. But yo, where's Rios? Right? Where's that? Right? You kind of his flow goes really well with their flow, but I like how mellow this one was. It was a good beat, something different, and I like how they're showing different sides of what they can do. Right? Yo, man, I'm a fan. If you guys are fans of Coast Contra's work and you like the intellectual breakdowns where we dive into the context of what they're actually saying, man, show some love. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We have a folder with all of Coast Contra's freestyles, and we're starting to get into all of Apartment 505. So if you guys are fans of their work, we're going to continue going through it and going back in their catalog as well as getting into other artists. So show some love. We're trying to grow the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.